Hey YouTube, we are back. I have been filming part 10, but I wanted to get this done. It's been driving me crazy how to figure how to do it. I've got one completed, one of the canopies. I just did a picture for my Facebook, so I kind of did a little setup here with all the tools, and for scale, you can see you got a little dime there. But there is a painted cockpit, and I'm using the gunmetal, so we're not expanding the palette at all. And I was originally trying to use masking fluid, way too viscous to lay it down perfectly. It was just not, it was frustrating me. So we'll just kind of toughen it out. What I used on this, and I'll just do on this for got a sanding stick right here, and just carefully go over the frame. It's the airframe of, I don't know if it's airframe or the frame of the cockpit that holds all the glass planes, or panes in, not planes. And this is just to give something to paint to grab on. I did try to paint this originally without doing this, and that was just futile. I just carefully don't want to scratch the cockpit itself. And just kind of keep going over that. And that is about it on there. So I'm going to just finish this up real quick. I'll be back and we'll show you how to paint it. Okay, we're back. I'm using a synthetic brush. This is from Spain. I don't know if you can read it. Escoda, it may help if I put it in the right direction. Escoda Versatil Sintético Barcelona. I know that's how you Castilian Spanish. Oh, I can remember that. So I got one of the cockpits. I got it all sanded down. Got the paint straight out of the bottle. I got it in one of these little scientific spot trays. They're porcelain. As you can see, I use these quite often. I use a wet palette mostly for painting, but for this type of thing, you don't want the paint to thin out at all. And I'm using my hand. We'll use my finger right there. And then we'll just go in and basically edge highlight. And you want to make sure you don't have too much or too little paint. I'd rather go with too little of paint, because we can go back over this over and over again. There's nothing going to stop us doing that. But we don't want to limit our cleanup. And then we have these areas. You got to be very careful with your angles. And see, we're starting, the paint's already drying out now. Let's just try to get as much. See, I got a little of the paint on the cockpit right there, a little dot. I'm trying to keep this on camera, which is a pain in the ass. But this is good practice. There we go. Am I still on camera? Sorry about that. Gonna try to keep this in the area. I'm trying to be able to keep control of the brush and make sure you can see what I'm doing too. So let's wipe a little of that paint off, and we get the edge. See, whoops, screwed up a little bit there, but see how I show you how we can clean it up later. Doesn't matter, just keep your angles. That's all about it. Keep your angles on your edge highlighting to make sure to keep it clean. Good angle, good angle. Got this front edge. Lost the paint, so let's get some more paint going. It's, you know, you can see I'm going back and forth and losing the paint quite quickly, but this is just to prevent any running. We have some, almost basically everything covered. Then we're going to go back over it, and we'll do maybe 2 or 3 passes. Am I still online? Or online? On camera. I got to buy a proper monitor because the way I have this camera, I can't always have to use it on my right side, which I'm right-handed, which is kind of ridiculous. It's got to shoot on the other side for showing how I'm doing things, but this seems to be okay. And let's see, get a little more paint off. Try getting that little area right there. And there's still a little bit of translucency on this part of the cockpit. So let's just see. Don't try to push it too far. There we go. Look at that. That looks good. Okay, and I'm using a separate cup now for my metallic paint. And I'll show you how I'm going to clean this up. I can see right there. I have this little dental tool. And just kind of gently take the paint away. Don't try to dig in. And there. That's basically paint it. What we're going to do. I'm going to finish it up more, and I'll get the other one done. And I'll place it briefly on the model just to show you what it's going to look like. This is going to be a real short part. Call this 9.5 because I have part 10 coming up after this. But I just kind of wanted to get this out of the way because this is like the hardest part to do out of all the models. And that is pretty nice. And there, let's do for scale. There's a dime. So it's pretty tiny. I'm just going to add a couple more layers and we're done. And we'll show you the results. Thanks. Okay, we're back and we finished painting the canopies. You can see there. I went in also, I did a little bit of Vallejo matte varnish with a brush. Went over each of the frames very carefully. Then also softened, did any touch-up. It looked like some of it wasn't really as opaque as I wanted to. Went and touched it up. Then I went in with some chrome and touched up, or not touched up, but just a little, wherever the frame met, hit it with a little highlight just to give it a little more interest. And here it is on the Condor. And that is looking pretty killer. You can see the little white helmet. I think I might, let's see if I can take this off, paint black between him and the console so it just gives it some depth in there. Oops. And I have some canopy glue, so hopefully that's not going to screw it up. But that has turned out really kind of cool. And it's still got that high gloss finish because this will be the very last thing I put on this thing. But I really like how that turned out. You know, little pilot in there. That's kind of cool. And for scale, again, let's do that. That is tiny. Oops. Sorry about that. There. Center that in there. So that flying in. Yeah, I like that little shine on there is kind of cool. There's a lot of lights around me right now. I got a bench light, I got an aught light, and I got another lamp ahead of me. So you got 3 lights hitting it, so you get all kinds of reflections off of it. But I am thrilled how that turned out. Pushed myself a little bit. Had to use a visor because I was actually getting a slight headache right now from eye strain from doing that. And I know it's not that tedious. It's just, you know, like I showed you in the first section of this how I did that. And just threw a little bit of paint on there, but that is nice. We got that done. That was the only thing that was kind of stressing me out a little bit, and I did it. And moving on to the next part. So this will be part 9.5. We'll go with 10, showing more of the detail on these things, and that is it. We'll see you in part 10. Thanks.